I've run for many reasons in my life. At first I didn't like it. I was embarrassed to run. I didn't like to be seen running in public. I ran hundreds of miles around field in the dark in the morning. Then one day I realised that I loved running and I was a runner, and I haven't really looked back since then.
I run because it makes me feel good. As easy as, maybe even cheesy as this answer may sound, that's the reason why. It's just pure joy of feeling my body, feeling that I'm alive. I think part of it is also feeling that pain, feeling that the body's hurting, but that at the same time, it helps me become a better version of myself. Once I'm done running, at the end of every run, I feel that same gratitude to be able to do it and to be able to have a body that really can offer me so much joy with sports in general, but with running in particular.
Before COVID, I ran as training for different sports. I did martial arts, I played football, and running was part of my training for that. But then when COVID hit, those other things stopped, so running became my main sport. And I run because I enjoy being in the outside, because I enjoy the challenge of running, because I've met many friends through running, I've gained many opportunities in my life through running. It's just a really good way to spend some time, be out in nature, see new things, meet new people, to challenge myself and to, try and push myself and see what I'm actually capable of doing.
Running is very hard because it requires every single part of your body to be able to run. If you have a niggle anywhere in the body, running feels awful. Training also for running is hard because it requires a lot of time. Running is a sport that is also very taxing on the body. So yeah, running is really hard. Mentally, it's also very hard.
Running can be hard for many reasons. Sometimes you're doing a hard session. Sometimes the easiest runs can be the hardest runs. I mean, there are some mornings when you're exhausted. There are some days when your body's not feeling up to it. There are some days when something's happened, and trying to get to the end of the road can be the hardest run you do. But on the other hand, running is also brilliant. So I think some of the runs that I've enjoyed the most have started out being the hardest runs, and some of the hardest runs that I've done have had the most benefit for me. So yeah, running is hard, but running is also wonderful, running is also freeing, running is also very enjoyable.
I'm not sure human beings are designed to go for 10K, 10 miles on a daily basis. That's just not the destiny of humans. It was maybe back in the days, but today it's really silly to be doing it. So yes, it's hard physically, mentally, but it's proportionally as rewarding as it is hard.
I'm very lucky. I've got a good group of friends who I run with 5:30 every morning. We run before work, and just that running with your mates and chatting, that chance to catch up in that, especially in that that dead zone in the morning when no one else is out. The world's your playground, and it's just a group of guys running around, chatting, having fun, taking the mickey out of each other, sharing stories about the day. That makes running enjoyable. And aside from the external things, you've got the gear that can make running enjoyable as well. I mean, sometimes you put on a pair of shoes and they're just a pleasure to run in.
Equipment, gear makes running much easier. When you have the right shoes, when you have the right outfit, it doesn't make you run faster. If you are relying on your equipment to find motivation, then you probably are doing it wrong. Nutrition makes running easier. If you don't bonk on your runs, if you have a stable energy level throughout your sessions, it makes it easier. And then just people. I think that's the number one aspect. If you have people around yourselves, family, friends who support you in your running, if you have other runners that you can share the joy of running with, there's no such thing as a run with friends or a run with people who are sharing the same passion, who are into the same session. You are sharing something so special that at the end you get closer together and you just want to do it again and again, and that makes running so much easier.
It's just the physical benefits as well. Seeing the progress that you can make, knowing how far you've come. I think the social side, the competition side as well. I mean, whether you're a park runner, whether you're running marathons, whether you're running track races, competition can be enjoyable. You might not win, but you beat your PB. You might just have a really good race. You might beat your friend. You might beat that guy that normally beats you. That makes running enjoyable. My last full marathon was in 2022 in Manchester. It's when I set my marathon PB. I ran 2 hours 44 and 6 seconds, I think. So it's a pretty solid run, very enjoyable. Didn't run a marathon in 2023. I was taking the year off because it's a hard training schedule for marathon. And post-COVID work was becoming busier, and I was trying to rebalance my life for that year. So no marathon last year, and then Amsterdam will be my next one this year.
My last marathon was in Geneva in May of 2024, and it was not a full marathon because I DNF'd after about 30k. My current marathon PB is 2 hours and 50 minutes, and I clocked that in Berlin on the Berlin Marathon in 2019, so that's already 5 years ago.
So I think the challenges I'm facing building up to Amsterdam are manifold. I mean, I'm not a full-time runner. I'm a man that works full-time. In my daily life, I'm a primary school teacher, so I have a full-time career. On top of that, I'm not getting any younger. I mean, I just turned 46 a couple of weeks ago. In all my wisdom, I started family life 6 months ago, so having Bertie at home is the most incredible thing in the world. I'm sure many of you out there will know that having a 6-month-old child does not make fitting running in any easier, because I'm not running at my schedule at the moment. I'm fitting my running around a working life and learning how to be a father.
My build to Amsterdam started almost right after Geneva. I already had that target in mind. Thanks to Mizuno, we were able to know already quite early in advance that Andy and I would be running the Amsterdam Marathon. I'm not a huge volume guy, so I had as a target to be around that 100-110 kilometers per week a few weeks before Amsterdam. Summertime has been really hard. The weather doesn't allow for lots of sessions at any time of the day. You really have to plan schedule, and with obviously, you know, professional constraints, travels and such things, it's really hard to plan ahead of time when I'm doing my runs, my sessions. So I kind of take it on a daily basis and try to do the most out of my time. But that's, you know, that's a fake challenge, because if you want to accomplish it, you can really do it. You just have to organize and plan things. And the other challenge is self-confidence. When you're coming from a marathon that you DNF'd, the one thing you have in your mind is, I need to finish this one. I need to perform. I need to do well. And it's also a source of motivation to prove to myself that I'm able to hit the target that I have in mind and to be proud of myself.
And like with everyone else, I mean, it's the perennial challenge of marathon training, which is just trying to balance getting the mileage in, getting the sessions in, but also trying to remain uninjured. And going back to where we started here, I'm not getting any younger. So what used to be a niggle that would last me, you know, a couple of days could now be a couple of weeks or longer. So I think those are the big challenges I face, but it's the joy of marathon running, isn't it? It's what makes it such an amazing achievement is overcoming everything and performing your best on the day.
So the goal with Amsterdam is to be strong until the very last meter before the finish line. I don't have a time goal, I will be honest. I think I'm able to run in the low 240s if I'm in a good day. That's with a good training plan. On the day of Amsterdam, I just want to feel strong from the first kilometer until the last kilometer and be proud of my race. I think this is a reasonable, and I think it's a good goal.
My overarching goal is to go sub 2 hours 40 minutes. That's my big goal. That is my big marathon target. My secondary goal, my PB currently stands at 2 hours 44 minutes, so I'd like to try and get below that. A goal, my C goal, is to get to that finish line in some kind of shape at the end.
The Neo Vista, it's an interesting one, because on paper, if you had given me all the specs and the way it runs, I probably would have said this is not a shoe for me. I've not been a huge fan of soft shoes, of those really energy sucking type of shoes. They just don't work for me. I'm the complete opposite of Andy. I'm a stride runner. I am really extending the length of my stride when picking up the pace. That's how I run. And so the Neo Vista on paper was not necessarily designed for me, but the compound type, it's EVA based. The feeling is soft, but it's not draining as much energy as some other compounds. It also has that plate, which I think really helps stabilize and reduce the loss of energy. And overall, surprisingly, I'm really enjoying it, and I rate it really high. If I don't like a shoe, I say it, and I do like the Neo Vista. So again, surprisingly, the Neo Vista in my head was a shoe that would be used only for recovery sessions, easy runs, yet it's performing really, really well at all sorts of paces. I think it's a shoe that is super capable across all paces. The Neo Vista is really that easy day endurance type of shoe.
I love the comfort of the upper. It fits like a sock. It's absolutely beautiful fit on the top. You can see just how much midsole foam there is in here. It's a very thick shoe, it's a very cushioned shoe, but it's also a very, very bouncy shoe. I think it's a really fun shoe. It's a very exciting shoe, and I think Mizuno have done a really good job of making this. A shoe like this really helps to make running enjoyable. It's a good job, Mizuno.
I did a long run with Andy in the Neo Vista as well. It did surprisingly well, and I think it could almost be my go-to shoe in my rotation for the whole build to Amsterdam, especially in the weeks with more volume, where my feet and my legs need a bit of that leg-saving effect, that oomph feeling of like, yeah, my legs are protected. That's where the Neo Vista really kicks in.
To prepare for Amsterdam, so this is one of my main training shoes. So I've been logging easy runs in it, some speed sessions as well. I use it for tempo sessions on the road. So it's a really good, versatile, do-it-all training.
I'm always excited to discover new shoes, especially when they're prototypes or embargoed, or anything that is new and secret is obviously very exciting. I'm kind of geeky, as you probably know. And yes, I'm really excited. I've seen a few sketches here and there a few months ago. It looks interesting, and Mizuno had the Rebellion Pro 1, Rebellion Pro 2, which are shoes that are really demanding, and I did some long runs in 2023 with that shoe. So yes, I really look forward to discover what Mizuno has up their sleeves for Amsterdam.
I think this is my biggest bit of trepidation coming up to the marathon, because everything else is under my control. My training is up to me. I can train as hard, as well, or as little as I want, and that's all on me. I think the choice of shoe in a marathon is very important. You need the shoe to be comfortable, you need the shoe to work for you, you need it to fit well. Having the Neo Vista gives me great hope, and I am really excited to discover which shoe I'm going to be running the Amsterdam Marathon in. The right choice of shoe can make or break a marathon. So hopefully we nail it, and hopefully the shoe treats me well.
I think now in the coming weeks what's going to be super interesting is that Andy and I planned to do a few sessions in common. Although he's living in the UK and I'm here in Belgium, in Brussels, we will not do them together, but we'll do the same sessions, maybe even on the same day, him and I. Having that motivation of knowing that someone is going through the same pain, the same effort as you, it's going to be very interesting. Not just about the numbers and comparing stats, but also just having that message at 5 AM coming from Andy, good luck for your session today. Just supporting each other, I think will be really nice. And I've never done this, so it's interesting and exciting at the same time.